Hi, my name's Sangha and I'm the VP of Human Resources at Equifax UK and Ireland. So as part of my team, what I enjoy the most and what the purpose of my role is basically to align the business strategy with the purpose of the people in the business. For me, what I love about my role and what I love about what I'm able to do is really the fact that it's not only about bringing the best out of people, it's actually giving something to the people as well. So when I think about business outcomes, it's about being able to drive high performance through individuals, and that means getting them in a place where they feel they can thrive in an environment that grows and develops them. And then through that, obviously we can achieve everything we need to for the business and for our clients as well. In my career journey, there's lots I've learned. I think I'd say being where I am now, the most important lesson I've learned is very much so all around, I'd say, the point of failure. So again, I've talked about expectations earlier. I think a lot of people, including myself, you can get really fixated on what you need to achieve and how it needs to be achieved. But I think one of the things that I carry with me is that saying of you win, you learn, but you never fail. So you're either going to win or you're going to learn along the way, but actually failure only comes when you tell yourself that you failed. So actually if something doesn't go your way, it's about picking yourself up, learning from it and moving on, rather than kind of, almost setting yourself up in a place where you can't kind of move on from it. That's what I would say is important. If I was to give somebody advice who was starting in HR, I would definitely say, don't be afraid to be authentic. And I genuinely say that when I say it, because I think a lot of the time, and over my career span, which is over 20 years now in HR, I've met a lot of individuals who feel they need to be a certain way because they're in HR, and they may feel, oh, I'm in this role, I've got to focus on X, Y, Z. And yes, there's obviously certain elements that we've got to focus on in terms of business strategy, in terms of people. But for me, the biggest thing is about keeping that balance. I think especially when you're in HR, I think it's really important for us to remember that we are dealing with people, and that means real lives. So for me, it's always been about being able to represent the people that come to work for us, because actually, again, it's about getting the best out of people, building that connection and understanding actually how can we get the best out of people by, not only pushing them to achieve something, but focusing on their growth and their development is what gets the business where it needs to be as well. For me, if I think about a challenge in my career, it's always a little bit contradictory, because for me, my biggest challenge is also my most rewarding moment and probably my proudest achievement in my life. So I'd say for me, it's been building a career whilst having children. So my children are now 7 and 11. And whilst I feel we've got somewhere on that journey now, when I think about starting off with my children and kind of trying to balance the whole work life and everything else with it, that is definitely one of the biggest challenges I'd say I've faced in my career. And I think a big part of that challenge comes from, again, whether you're a male or a female in the workplace, if you're a full-time working parent, the biggest challenge comes sometimes from what you expect from yourself. And I think quite a lot of the time we can try to do everything. And if there's one thing I could say to people now who are trying to build a career whilst they've got children, or at least bringing children up, I would say, I think we all know it takes a village, as they say, to raise a child. And I'd say it takes more than that. So I think for me, it's being able to ask for help. Having a supportive network is great, but if you don't ask for help, that's what brings a challenge. That wasn't always the easiest thing for me, but that's definitely what's got me through and got me to my career where I am now.